Hello, dear aspirants, and welcome to Civil Staff. Guys, we are back again with a session for Prelims 2021 UPSC CSAT, and we'll be discussing some English comprehensions. And these are previous year sessions, guys, and we'll be discussing previous year passages, comprehension passages that have been given to you in the year of 2017. As far as I remember. So guys, if you can hear me and if we are live, just give me a thumbs up. Good afternoon, Alpana. I'm good, dear. How are you? All right, guys. So let's start with the homework passage that I gave you yesterday. Not yesterday, I mean last week. And let's see what you have done with this. Okay. And guys, don't forget to like the session. Don't forget to share it because it may prove to be quite beneficial for you. So let's begin, guys. First was there was a question that which of the following would assist us in coping with the climate change? Okay. And then second question, there were assumptions given. We had to find which of them is valid. So let's read the passage, guys. A diversity of natural assets will be needed to cope with climate change and ensure productive agriculture, forestry, and fisheries. A diversity of natural assets will be needed to cope with the climate change and ensure productive agriculture, forestry, and fisheries. That is the opening statement, guys. For example, crop varieties. Now, I remember, guys, even somebody in the last session has commented, sir, what is the difference between crop varieties and monoculture? Monoculture, the opposite of monoculture is diversification, if you understand. So there are certain things you may not find directly in the passage, but you have to imply the meaning, right? So for example, crop varieties are needed that perform well under drought, heat, and enhanced CO2. But the private sector and farmer-led process of choosing crop favors homogeneity adapted to past or current conditions, not varieties capable of producing consistently high yields in warmer, wetter, or drier conditions. So they are saying that to cope with climate change, we would require diversity of natural assets, and he's given example, crop varieties are needed that perform well under extreme conditions. But private sector and farmer-led process of choosing crops favors homogeneity, adapted to past or current conditions. I mean, they are not very happy to experiment with new varieties capable of producing consistently high yields in warmer, wetter, or dry conditions. They believe in homogeneous crops. Accelerated breeding programs are needed to conserve a wider pool of genetic resources. So accelerated breeding programs are needed to conserve a wider pool of genetic resources of existing crops, breeds, and their wild relatives. Relatively intact ecosystems such as forested catchments, mangroves, wetlands can buffer the impact of climate change. So relatively intact ecosystems such as forested catchments, mangroves, and wetlands can buffer. That means they can fight the impacts of climate change. Under a changing climate, these ecosystems are themselves at risk, and management approaches will need to be more proactive and adaptive. The connections between natural areas such as migration corridors may be needed to facilitate species movement to keep up with the climate change in climate, right? So this was the passage, and let's now try to answer the question, guys. Good afternoon, Lakshmi. Hello, Ria. Good afternoon, dear. Hello, Sheetal. Namaskar, Vaishali. How are you? Hello, Chingba Marak. Afternoon, Meir. Hello, Dheeraj. So, guys, this is the first passage. You've read it carefully. Now, let's try to solve the question on the basis of the passage. So, with reference to the above passage, which of the following would assist us in coping with the climate change? Conservation of natural water sources, conservation of wider gene pool, existing crop management practices, and migration corridors. Yes, guys. What do you say? Hello, Dheeraj. Hello, Sohail. Welcome to the session. Alpna says C, Monica C, Sheetal says C, Chingba says B. Tamanna says A, Ankit C, Monica C, Bishali says A. All right. Good afternoon, Ankit. Darpan says C. So guys, see the options were conservation of natural water resources. Uh, I'm specifically looking for any point where they've mentioned water, natural water sources. Crop varieties has been spoken of. That means diversification in crops, right? Breeding programs to conserve a wider gene of pool or wider pool of genetic resources of existing crops, breeds in their wild relatives. That's true. These intact ecosystems and management approaches. The migration corridor is also there. Uh, Guys, I can eliminate all other options by only saying conservation of natural water sources. It has been not spoken of in the passage. Mangroves are not natural water sources. Water sources क्या होते हैं? Rivers, ponds, or natural ponds, natural lakes. Chingba. So mangroves are places where trees grow, or trees are grown basically. So only if we eliminate option number one, and we can see that all other options had option number one in them. Correct option was option number C. No, why do you need time to analyze, Beshali? When if you know how we have learned to read, as we go, you have to mark important points in the paragraph. Correct? The correct option was option number C. And let's read question number 2, guys. With reference to the above passage, the following assumptions have been made. Diversification of livelihoods acts as a coping strategy for climate change. Diversification of livelihoods. Okay. Adoption of monocropping practice leads to the extinction of plant varieties and their wild relatives. Yes, guys. What should be the answer for question number 2? I think diversification of livelihoods, it has not been spoken of anywhere in the passage. But see, now monocropping has not been mentioned, but here it is mentioned. Uh, but private sector and farmer-led process of choosing crop favors homogeneity, adapted to past or current conditions, not varieties capable of producing consistently high in warmer, wetter, or dry conditions. So accelerated breeding programs are needed to conserve a wider pool of genetic resources. See, here it is given. That means monocropping leads to, loss of genetic resources of existing crops, breeds, and their wild relatives. The correct option was only option number 2 is correct. So option B is the correct answer. Yes, it leads to. That is why it has been mentioned. So option 2 is correct. So correct option was option number B. Yes, Sumit, you may learn, a few more new things, a few more strategies. Practice would always give you, more insight into solving these passages. There is no as such specific limit that you only cover only 10 passages or 20 or 50 passages, you will be done. These 140 passages that I have discussed in this series, they are only previous year questions. Now we are left with mock tests and practice sessions. Right, Sumit? I think so. You need to practice from any source that you can get your hands on. Right? All right, guys. So that was the homework passage. Let's begin some new passages today. All right. So pull up your sleeves, take out your pens, and let's give it your best, guys. So here is first passage, and we have to find a logical and rational inference that can be made from the above passage. Okay, guys, let me try to, I think, is it better? Let's hope so. Okay, so they have to find a logical inference. English comprehension, there are many books in the market. The one that I remember is Vishal's, that I chose Vishal IAS, or there is Murunal IAS. So you can take those books, and there is SP Bakshi for previous, sorry, Kiran for previous year. So any of these three books, all these have previous year questions plus mock test. So you can take any of them, right? Riya? Chalo guys, let's read the passage. The medium term challenge for Indian manufacturing is to move from lower to higher tech sectors. The medium term challenge for Indian manufacturing is to move from lower to higher tech sectors, from lower to higher value added sectors, from lower to higher productivity sectors. Medium tech industries are primarily capital intensive. They're based, they run on capital and resource processing. So medium tech industries are primarily capital intensive, and that means they take a lot of capital and resource processing. And high tech industries are mainly capital and technology intensive. So in order to push the share of manufacturing in overall GDP to the projected 25%, Indian manufacturing needs to capture the global market in sectors showing a rising trend in demand. Now, these sectors are largely high technology and capital intensive. So what he wants to convey, that Indian manufacturing needs to shift. There has to be a paradigm shift in the manufacturing sector, which includes moving to a higher tech based working rather than higher resource based and resource processing based working, right? So let's, what is the logical inference, guys? India's GDP displays high value added and high productivity levels in the medium tech and resource processing industries. No. Promotion of capital and technology intensive manufacturing is not possible in India. That is an extreme option. India should push up the public investments and encourage the private investments in research and development, technology upgradation, and skill development. All right. And India has already gained a great share in global markets and sectors, showing a rising trend in demand. No, I don't think so. That's correct. So we can eliminate option number B and D right out. India's GDP and option was one was also contradictory. It does not display any high value added or high productivity levels in medium tech and resource processing industries. We are looking to improve, and we target the projected 25%, and it can only be achieved by improving the technology. So correct option here is option number C. Areva. Very good Sheetal, very good Ankit, very good Alpna, Darpan, very good Lakshmi, Bhuvi, very good Marak, very good Bashali, Riya, Dheeraj, Monica. Very well done, guys. So guys, there is a general trend that in a paper you will probably get somewhat around 14 to 18 passages. So out of those 14 to 18 passages, it is expected that you will have 10 level 1 passages. Level 1, what I mean by level 1 is on which there is only one question. So you have to be well versed with level 1 passages, because these are easy to solve, and you can solve it in one go. Level 2, level 3 passages will be there, but they will be fewer in number, right? So make sure that you are very accurate with your answers in level 1 passages, at least. Okay, when you talk about growth of GDP, Beshali, now when we are talking about industry, what do you mean by industry? Now, when we talk about manufacturing industry, does it not include private or public or both? Always think about the bigger picture, Beshali. When you learn something, when you read something, you have to get the bigger picture there. When we're talking about Indian manufacturing industry, now what does Indian manufacturing industry include? Only public sector, only private sector, and manufacturing is contributing to the GDP. Got it? So guys, always take a bigger picture. What they're telling you, what does it entail, right? Don't worry, Ria. We will discuss the 2020 paper very soon. And actually, the passages were not difficult. It was just a pressure. The perplexed situation that is caused due to performing under pressure. Passages cannot be difficult. They are just passages. Everybody can understand. This just English and normal understanding. Lakshmi, watch the first 5 sessions of this series. In those 5 sessions, I have clearly distinguished between assumption, inference, and conclusion. That would help you with this. All right, guys. Moving on to the second passage. Let's go. We had to find a corollary. Corollary is another name for inference, guys. Assumption is something that we assume considering the statement true. Inference is a logical fact or the data that can be taken from the premise of the passage. That is the difference, Lakshmi. Assumption is you are assuming something, that this should happen, that this would happen if we do this. But inference is this has been conveyed in the passage. So that's the difference. All right, guys, let's read the passage. Over the last decade, Indian agriculture has become more robust with record production of food grains and oil seeds. That's true. Increased procurement consequently has added a huge amount of food grains in the granaries. The amount is missing, guys. So he says increased procurement consequently has added huge amount of food grains in the granaries. India is one of the world's top producers of rice, wheat, milk, fruits, and vegetables. Now, India is still home to the quarter of all undernourished people in the world. So on an average, almost half of the total expenditure of nearly half of the households is on food. So this is a critical situation, guys. We are the leading producers of rice, wheat, milk, fruits, and vegetables. We have our granaries filled with food grains, and we have become self-dependent on our from our green revolution in the terms of production, right? But still, we have the most undernourished people in the world, and almost half of the total expenditure of nearly half of the households is on food. That is also true. So, what is the most logical corollary? Increasing the efficiency of farm to fork value chain is necessary to reduce the poverty and malnutrition. Okay? Increasing the agricultural productivity will automatically eliminate the poverty and malnutrition in India. That is contradictory because he has mentioned that agriculture productivity has has gone quite high, and we are the leading producer. This is wrong. India's agricultural productivity is already great, and it is not necessary to increase it further. Allocation of more funds for social welfare and poverty alleviation programs will ultimately eliminate the poverty and malnutrition in India. So I think, guys, this, out of all the given options, you can eliminate all others quite easily, which do not make sense. Only the correct option is increasing the efficiency of farm to fork. We have the surplus. So if we make it available to people, farm to fork chain, if it's made functioning and smooth, right, it will be necessary to reduce the poverty and malnutrition in India. There can be many other causes for poverty and malnutrition, but this can definitely reduce. So that is the corollary that we Vaishali, this is not a hard and fast rule. You have to look at the extreme option. It is not necessary to increase it further. Not necessary means it is not required. So necessary is a word which can be used in n number of senses. So the option should be extreme in its own sense, that this cannot be done. This will not achieve this. This is never or always. These are extreme options. Actually, that's what we call practice. The more mistakes you make, the more you will learn. Don't count your mistakes as mistakes. Count them as your learning curve. That okay, we are still in the learning phase. I made a mistake in this passage. What was the right explanation? Where did I get wrong? Right? Find that and then improve your attempt. That's why we are running this series. We've been running this series for the past 5-6 months. And that is the reason that it takes a lot of time to be dead sure that okay, this is the correct answer, right? Sheetal, this is 2017. We started with 2019. We covered 2018. Now we are covering 2017, and then we will, keep on doing so. So we'll cover all the previous year questions. All right, guys. Moving on to the third passage. what does the above passage imply? That means what is the what does the message, or what does the passage convey, right? What is the central theme? And there is only one sentence. So these are quite tricky sometimes, guys. So let's try to read it. In a democratic state where a high degree of political maturity of the people, a high degree of the political maturity of the people obtains, the conflict between the will of the sovereign lawmaking body and the organized will of the people seldom occurs. So in a democratic state where a high degree of political maturity of the people obtains, the conflict between the will of sovereign lawmaking body and the organized will of the people seldom occurs. So what does the passage imply, guys? In a democracy, force is the main phenomenon in the actual exercise of sovereignty. In a mature democracy, force to a great extent is the main phenomenon of actual exercise of sovereignty. In a mature democracy, use of force is irrelevant in the actual exercise of sovereignty. In a mature democracy, force is narrowed down to a marginal phenomenon in the actual exercise of sovereignty. What do you say, guys? What is he saying? The conflict between the will of the sovereign lawmaking body and the organized will of the people seldom occurs. That means there is no contradiction. That means there is no conflict. So that means that it seldom occurs. That means it very rarely occurs that the will of the law and will of the organized people, there is a clash between the two. So he says, in a mature democracy, force is narrowed down to a marginal phenomenon in the actual exercise of sovereignty. That is the correct message that is implied by this passage. Very good, Bhuvi. Very good, Vaishali. Very good, Lakshmi, Sheetal, Chinba, Shiv, Monica, Alpna. Very well done, guys. Now, I was also looking at option number C. In a mature democracy, use of force is irrelevant in the actual exercise. But, you know, if the force is irrelevant, then that means there is no conflict. But he says it seldom occurs, very rarely, but there is a possibility. शिव तो उसमें क्या कह रहा है? देखो, एक वो डेमोक्रेटिक जो देश है, ठीक है, जिसमें सभी को आज़ादी है, जब जहाँ पे लोगों की एक पॉलिटिकल मेच्योरिटी का लेवल रीच हो जाता है, पॉलिटिकल मेच्योरिटी मतलब जो पॉलिटी को समझते हैं अच्छे से, देश की वर्किंग को समझते हैं, ऐसे डेमोक्रेसी में, ठीक है, लोगों की विल और जो लॉ मेकिंग बॉडी है, मतलब सुप्रीम कोर्ट है, कोई भी लॉ मेकिंग जो बॉडी है, उनकी विल में कॉन्ट्रडिक्शन ज़्यादातर देखने को नहीं मिलता, जहाँ पे पॉलिटिकल मेच्योरिटी हो, जहाँ पे लोग समझते हो कि भाई दिस इज द नॉर्म, दिस इज आवर ड्यूटी, दिस इज आवर राइट एंड दिस इज द लॉ, ये कहना चाह रहे हैं. सी थोड़ा सा कंफ्यूजिंग था, लेकिन यूज ऑफ फोर्स इज इररिलेवेंट, वो थोड़ा सा मुझे लगा कि यार फोर्स यूज होना ही नहीं चाहिए. नहीं, देखो थोड़ा वो तो लॉ करना भी पड़ता है, बट जो मेजॉरिटी है उसके बीच में और लॉ के बीच में कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ज्यादा नहीं आता इफ इट्स अ प्रॉपरली सोवर्न एंड डेमोक्रेटिक स्टेट वेयर पीपल आर पॉलिटिकली मैच्योर. तो थोड़ा सा एक्सट्रीम हो जाता है इररिलेवेंट होना ना, कि बिल्कुल ही जरूरत नहीं है. तभी उसने क्या बोला, सेल्डम अकर. सेल्डम मीन्स वेरी रेयरली, बट इट डज अकर, राइट. सो करेक्ट ऑप्शन वाज ऑप्शन नंबर डी. अब समझ आया शिव वो क्या कह रहा था, कि जहाँ पे लोग पॉलिटिकली मैच्योर हैं, तो जो कानून को समझते हैं, उसकी इम्पोर्टेंस को समझते हैं, ऐसे देश में जहाँ पे फिर जो लॉ बनता है वो भी उनकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग को देख के ही बनाया जाता है, और वो भी उस लॉ को फॉलो करते हैं, तो वहाँ पे कोई कॉन्फ्लिक्ट देखने को नहीं मिलता. वेरी गुड. चलो गाइस, नेक्स्ट पैसेज, क्वेश्चन नंबर 4. what does the above passage imply? We have to find what is the implication of the passage. So let's read the passage, guys. What climate change will undeniably do is cause of amplify events that hasten the reduction of resources. So he's saying climate change will amplify the hastening of reduction of resources. Okay? जैसे ना क्लाइमेट चेंज होगा उतने ज़्यादा रिसोर्सेज को यूज़ किया जाएगा. competition over these diminishing resources would ensue in the form of political or even violent conflict. और ऐसे फिर ये जो खत्म हो रहे हैं नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज, इनके ऊपर जो लड़ाई होगी वो पॉलिटिकल और कई बार वायलेंट भी हो सकती है. नाउ रिसोर्स बेस्ड कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स हैव रेयरली बीन ओवर्ट. ओवर्ट क्या होता है गाइस? ओपन, जो खुले, मतलब सभी के सामने, मतलब जैसे बोलते हैं ना कि भाई ये पानी की लड़ाई कर रहे हैं हम, जैसे बोलते हैं ना कि भाई मान लो कोई नदी का पानी है और वो दो कंट्रीज के बीच में बॉर्डर पे आ जाता है, तो उनके बीच में लड़ाई होती है, लेकिन वो ये नहीं बोल के करेंगे हम पानी पे लड़ रहे हैं. ठीक है, वो बोलेंगे भाई हम तो इस वजह से लड़ रहे हैं, या वो हमने घुसपैठ कर दी थी या वो कर दिया था. तो ओवर्ट मतलब ओपन नहीं होते, मतलब ऊपर से दिखते, क्लियरली समझ नहीं आते. So resource based conflicts have rarely been overt and are thus difficult to isolate. तो उनको अलग कर पाना बड़ा मुश्किल होता है. Instead they take on veneers. Veneers मतलब कोटिंग. जैसे उनके ऊपर वो एक विनियर होता है, कोटिंग, जो लकड़ी के ऊपर लगाई जाती है उसको सुंदर दिखाने के लिए. तो ऐसे कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स को इंस्टेड दे टेक ऑन विनियर्स दैट अपीयर मोर पॉलिटिकली प्लेटेबल. पैलेटेबल मतलब जिनको चखा जा सके, मतलब बेसिकली देखने में लगे भाई लड़ाई पानी के ऊपर नहीं थी, ये तो आइडियोलॉजी की लड़ाई थी. ठीक है, लेकिन होती वो बेसिकली उसके हक के ऊपर है, तो वो छुपा देते हैं उस चीज़ को. कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स ओवर रिसोर्सेज लाइक वाटर आर ऑफन क्लोग्ड इन द गाइज ऑफ आइडेंटिटी और आइडियोलॉजी. हाँ कि भाई ये तो इंडिया की नदी है तो इसका पानी इंडिया को मिलना चाहिए, राइट. तो वो ऐसी ऐसी लड़ाइयों को, मतलब जो लड़ाई पानी की है लेकिन उसको आइडियोलॉजी की, आइडेंटिटी की लड़ाई बना देते हैं. तो ऐसी रिसोर्स बेस्ड कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स ये बहुत होने लाजमी हैं आगे चल के, ये कह रहा है वो. What does the passage imply? Resource based conflicts are always politically motivated. ये देखो एक्सट्रीम हो गया ऑप्शन. There are no political solutions to resolve environmental and resource based conflicts. Again extreme हो गया. Environmental issues contribute to resource stresses and political conflict. True. Political conflict based on identity or ideology cannot be resolved. See, again extreme option. तो गाइज अगर आपने एलिमिनेशन मेथड सीखा है जो हमने डिस्कस किया है ओवर द पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, इट वुड बी वेरी इजी फॉर यू टू फाइंड आउट योर आंसर्स. The environmental issues contribute to resource stresses, that is given in the first two lines, and the next two lines it has said it may also lead to political conflicts. So correct option was option number C. Very good Ankit, very good Marak, very good Alpna, Bhuvi, Monica, Lakshmi, Vaishali, Sheetal, Are Shri is here. Very good Shri, very good Shiv, very good Suhail. 1 to 4 extreme, we've got our answer. Alright guys, moving to the next passage for today, and this is the last passage guys. And after this, you have to give me a score that out of 5 questions, how many did you get right and how many did you get wrong? Okay, let's solve this first. Which among the following is the most crucial message conveyed by the passage? So we have to find what is the message conveyed, moral story, right? The message conveyed by the passage. So let's read the passage guys. Why do people prefer open defecation and not want toilets, or if they have them, only use them sometimes? ऐसा क्यों होता है कि यार लोगों को खुले में नंबर 2 करने या मतलब पॉटी करने नंबर 2 मतलब खुले में जाना अच्छा लगता है? वाई डू पीपल प्रेफर ओपन डेफिकेशन एंड नॉट वांट टॉयलेट्स? उनको टॉयलेट नहीं चाहिए. ठीक है ना, अब आजकल आप पढ़े लिखे हो, आपको पता है टॉयलेट कितनी इंपॉर्टेंट है, बट सोचो पहले कितनी ज़्यादा पॉपुलेशन और अब भी कितनी पॉपुलेशन ओपन में टॉयलेट करने जाते हैं. उसका रीज़न क्या है? और टॉयलेट है भी तो उनको बहुत कम क्यों यूज़ करते हैं? दैट इज़ द क्वेश्चन दैट ऑथर हैज स्टार्टेड, ऑथर हैज आस्क्ड. द रीसेंट रिसर्च हैज शोन 2 क्रिटिकल एलिमेंट्स. दो रीज़न बताए उसने. आइडियाज़ ऑफ प्योरिटी एंड पोल्यूशंस, सफाई और पोल्यूशन के आइडियाज़ जो हैं. एंड नॉट वांटिंग पिट्स और सेप्टिक टैंक्स टू फिल, दे हैव टू बी एम्प्टीड. तो पहला तो कि भाई घर में गंदगी नहीं होनी चाहिए, तो गंदगी बाहर फैला के आओ. पहला तो ये आइडेंटिटी, आइडियाज़ ऑफ प्योरिटी एंड पोल्यूशन. तो दूसरा, नॉट वांटिंग पिट्स और सेप्टिक टैंक्स टू फिल, दे हैव टू बी एम्प्टीड. कि भाई वो टैंक फिर भर के खाली करने पड़ेंगे, गंदगी में हाथ जाएगा, हाथ सफाई कौन करे गंदगी में. तो ये दो रीजंस बड़े जो पता चले हैं. दीज आर द इश्यूज that nobody wants to talk about. So these are the issues nobody wants to talk about, but if we want to eradicate the practice of open defecation, they have to be confronted and dealt properly. That is true. So which is the crucial message conveyed by the passage? The ideas of purity and pollution are so deep rooted that they cannot be removed from the minds of the people. Extreme ho gaya. People have to perceive toilet use and pit emptying as clean and not polluting. That's true. People cannot change their old habits. Again, extreme options. People have neither civic sense nor sense of privacy. What do you say, guys? The most crucial message conveyed. To understand the importance of toilets and their usage, people need to understand that toilet use and pit emptying is clean. It is betterment of their surroundings, not polluting the surroundings. Oh, Shri, that's okay. I hope your projects are going well. Keep up the good work here. I know, very well done, guys. The correct option is option number B. People have to perceive toilet use and pit emptying as clean and not polluting. वो आइडियोलॉजी चेंज करना जरूरी है, हैबिट तो चेंज हो जाएगी। तब उन लोगों को क्या लगता है कि यार घर में कौन गंदगी फैलाए, बाहर जाके खुले में करके आओ, ताकि घर में गंदगी ना आए, घर में मक्खी ना आए। बट दे डू नॉट अंडरस्टैंड वो जो ओपन डेफिकेशन है उससे जो वहाँ पे जो गंदगी फैलती है वो सॉइल के थ्रू सीप होके जड़ों में जाती है, रूट्स में जाती है, पेड़ पौधों के, और वही गंदगी फिर हम खाते हैं। सी, so it's, if you see anyone, you know, defecating in open, please remind them this. Yeah, this would lead to a great change. So guys, now quickly give me a score. Out of 5 questions, how many did you get right and how many did you get wrong? And guys, this is your homework passage, but you don't have to answer it now. You have to answer this passage in the comment section of the video. Got it? I'll provide you the feedback in the Telegram group, the link for which is given in the description of the video. So if you're not in our Telegram group up till now, you're more than welcome to join us. You can get all the PDFs free, so you can practice these sessions on your own. Alpna, 4 out of 5. Should have been 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5 Alpna. कोई बात नहीं. Sheetal, very well done. Very good. Lakshmi, Riya, we need to practice more. So इस series को शुरू से देखो, it will help you a lot. अंकित, एक गलत हो गया, कोई बात नहीं, it's okay. Monica, very well done. शिव, 2 गलत हो गए. I think हिंदी इंग्लिश का थोड़ा confusion है, but वो sort out हो जाएगा, don't worry. वैशाली, 5 out of 5, very good. सुहेल, 2.5, 2.5 गलत. ये कौन सा स्कोर है? स्कोर ही बता रहे. फर्स्ट डे शिव, कोई बात नहीं, इट्स ओके. फर्स्ट डे भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. वी नीड टू लर्न फ्यू थिंग्स here and there, and we need to understand elimination, how to solve these papers, how to solve these questions. Natural resource वाला गलत हो गया. That's okay. धीरज, 3 out of 5, not bad. So here थोड़ा सा हम बकअप कर सकते हैं. नेचुरल वाटर सोर्सेज, हाँ कोई बात नहीं यार, हो जाते हैं ऐसे कंफ्यूजन, डोंट वरी. गाइस, हाउ वाज द सेशन? कैसा लगा सबको सेशन? यार डोंट फॉरगेट टू लाइक इट यार, बहुत मेहनत लगती है इन सेशंस को क्रिएट करने में और आप तक लेके आने में. सो डोंट फॉरगेट टू लाइक इट, डोंट फॉरगेट टू शेयर इट. You know, somebody may find it useful, right? And somebody may get benefited from it. And guys, if you have any doubts or any queries regarding our courses, our CSAT courses or our test series, please feel free to drop us an email at this address, hello@civilstaff.com, or you can also drop us or you can call us on this number 81462072441. So guys, how was the session? Your feedbacks are very important. And there's another session tomorrow, 12 p.m. same time, so don't forget to join. Don't forget to subscribe, that you can get all the notifications on time. आज का लेसन अल्पना, आज का लेसन ओके. मैंने आज ही कहीं पढ़ा मैंने दैट जो सुनते भी हैं कि डेस्टिनेशन इज नॉट इम्पॉर्टेंट, जर्नी इज. तो वो मुझे भी कहीं ना कहीं लगा कि यार आप कितने सक्सेसफुल होना चाहते हो, हम IAS बनना चाहते हैं, एंड वी आर वर्किंग सो हार्ड, बट at the same point of time we sacrifice so many things, right, during this journey of preparation and everything. So do not sacrifice things for other things. Enjoy the journey, and you won't remember. I have so many friends who are civil servants, and whom I talk to on a daily basis. And when we talk, I ask them, yeah, do you feel anything special? You are a civil servant, you are a bureaucrat. So do you feel anything special or anything different every day? Well, that's not how the world is. You get to a post, it's a job. It's like any other job that you have to discharge. It's your duty, right? So where is the part where you get happy, satisfied? So the satisfaction is not after you become an IAS officer. He told me success is throughout the journey, when you are in the phase of becoming an IAS officer. So the journey is very important. Don't sacrifice these small things during the journey. they strike a balance between everything, your relationships, your family, your friends, your hobbies. So, and that's when you will actually understand the importance of this journey, right? All right. So that was the essence of experience. So I remembered something today. I wanted to share it with you. Okay, guys, do not lose out on everything. You know, you will become an IAS officer, but the happiness will there be only for 1 day or 1 month. That जिस दिन IAS officer का result आएगा ना उस दिन बहुत खुश होगे आप. Right? People will be blessing you, congratulating you. They'll be running after you to meet you. Probably a couple of weeks, but again, it would settle down. You would again live a life like a normal human being, right? And then you would realize I've sacrificed so many things during the journey. Where are they? You know, which really used to provide me happiness. So do not sacrifice your habits, your hobbies, your friends, family, and do not, forget to smile, enjoy the journey, right? Chalo guys. That's it for today. Thank you so much for joining in, and I'll see you again tomorrow with new passages, new session, new comprehension tomorrow. So till then, stay safe, stay healthy, take care, and all the best for your preparations, guys. Keep your head high and keep up the good work, guys. So see you again tomorrow, 12 p.m. same time, same channel. Till then, bye bye. Take care.